Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Recently I put out a video about how I have switched to whole grain flour, and by that I mean milling my own wheat freshly at home. And I got a lot of comments and response that you wanted to do the same, but you didn't quite know where to start, or you didn't know what to make or how to use the berries, and you needed some good recipes. So today I wanted to go ahead and share one of the recipes that I am really enjoying. Um, and yeah, so today is going to be with einkorn. I know that that is a very desirable option for a lot of people, but it can be difficult to work with. So this is a very easy recipe, and it's not like a recipe that you are going to be rising or like a yeast type of dough. So it's going to be really easy to work with, and don't be intimidated if you want to get some einkorn into your diet and try it out, but you're not sure where to start. This will be a great option for you. So let's go ahead and get started with our einkorn muffin recipe. Right, to get started, we're going to turn our oven on to 400 degrees and get that preheated. So this recipe, I'm going to be using weight in grams. So get your scales out and gather all of your ingredients, which I will put the recipe down in the description box so that you can copy and paste that and go ahead and print that however you want to, if you need to, or just jot it down. But I'm going to be using grams. So I've got my scale here, and I've got a small bowl that I'm going to measure out my wheat berries. So these are just whole einkorn wheat berries. They are much smaller than most or all other wheat berries. So, but I'm going to just go ahead and turn on my scale, make sure it's at 0, and we're going to be on grams today. And we're going to need 265 grams of our wheat berries, and then we'll go ahead and get this milled. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and mill our wheat berries. All right, so we have our freshly milled flour here, and we're gonna go ahead and measure our dry ingredients and just add it right here to the bowl. Since we weigh the berries, we don't have to go ahead and measure or weigh the flour. It'll be the exact same. I've got a little bowl here, and I'm gonna just have that on my scale to measure out the dry ingredients. So we're gonna need some baking powder, and we're gonna need 5 grams of baking powder. And I'm just gonna dump it in here. And then we're gonna need 6 grams of baking soda. And 6 grams of salt. All right, and then I'm just gonna use my whisk and kind of mix them together briefly. And I like to kind of make a little bit of a well in the middle to add my liquid ingredients. So we'll go ahead and get those mixed up next. We'll just set that aside and we will go ahead and grab our wet ingredients. All right, so now we're ready to go ahead and start to mix up our liquid ingredients. We've got our dry ingredients here set aside, and I'm gonna put my liquid ingredients in this bowl, but I'm gonna measure them out on the scale in this little bowl here. I already measured out my buttermilk. You're gonna need 227 grams of buttermilk. However, I am out of buttermilk, so I went ahead and created my own substitute, which is 1 tablespoon of white vinegar and 1 cup scant of milk. So that is what I am going to use in the substitute of the buttermilk. If you have buttermilk, that would be great to use. But I'm just going to set that aside and wait for that. And I'm going to start measuring out my oil. So you can use whatever type of oil you like. I'm using olive oil, but you could use whatever oil you would normally use. So I need 112 grams of oil. Okay. And I will put the measurements, like the cup, half cup, and stuff, the equivalent, in the description below with the recipe in case you don't have a scale. But if you do a lot of baking, I would definitely recommend getting a scale, especially if you are milling a lot of your own wheat, because then you don't have to do a conversion, wheat berries to milled flour, and try to figure that out. And a lot of times you'll have a lot of leftover flour when you do that. So if you get a scale and weigh your ingredients, you won't have any, you'll have the exact amount of flour every time and you won't have to measure that. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the oil in, and I like to do my oil before the honey. You could definitely substitute sugar or maple syrup or any kind, whatever kind of sweetener you want, but I'm going to be using honey today, and mine is really thick, so I might have a little trouble getting it out of here. But I need 170 grams of honey. All right, we finally got the honey out of that jar. All right, and now we're gonna need vanilla. You can omit this, it's optional, but I'm gonna add 4 grams of vanilla. And 1 egg. And our buttermilk or buttermilk substitute. Woo, splashed everywhere. All right, I'm just gonna whisk this up a bit. And then we're gonna add this to our dry mixture. Make sure I didn't forget anything, okay. My honey is a little bit chunky, but that's okay. We're gonna just mix this until it is all wet. We don't want to over mix it because we are depending on that baking soda and baking powder to rise this. So we don't want to over mix, just like we wouldn't want to over mix our pancake batter or any other quick bread recipe. All right, so everything looks wet. Now you can bake as is, or you could add, if you wanted to add some particular spices that you like cinnamon and nutmeg. You could do that. Or you could add between about half to 1 cup of some kind of fruit. If you like fruit in yours, blueberries or little apple chunks, or even bananas would probably be really good in this, or some cut up strawberries. I'm actually going to add a little bit of miniature chocolate chips to mine, which I don't normally do. We actually really love them just plain how they are now. But I wanted to kind of do something a little bit different. I'm not gonna measure, but I'm probably gonna go with about a half a cup or so of miniature chocolate chips. Cause yeah, I just wanna, I made it with chocolate chips once before and we thought it was pretty good. A little bit of something different. All right, so we are ready to go ahead and fill up our muffin tin. So I actually ran out of liners, so I just have this oiled really good. Set my stuff aside, and I actually like to use my gravy ladle to fill up my muffin tin. This just so happens to be about the exact size to fill these up that I need. So we're going to fill these about 3/4 of the way. And then with whatever we have left, we'll go ahead and top them off as we need to so that we can use up all of our batter. Will probably be a little bit more than 3/4. But this is a really easy, quick, beginner recipe. So if you have been really wanting to get into freshly milled flour, and especially a lot of people are wanting to use einkorn and other ancient grains, so this is a really good way to try it out. That's not stressful. It's very basic. You can have confidence while making this recipe. And my family really, really loves these. My husband really loves the flavor of the einkorn in the muffins. And I will put, I'll try to leave links for you guys in the description box. So make sure you check those out. I would greatly appreciate that. I do have a few links I can share as far as my mill and my scale. I've had my scale for so many years and it has worked fabulously. So I will make sure and link that because I know everybody does not have a scale. But I definitely recommend it if you're doing a lot of baking, and especially if you're now using your freshly milled flour. It's really handy to be able to weigh out your berries so you don't have to measure that twice. All right, we are almost full. We're just going to top these off with what we have left. I'm going to scrape every last drop out of this. All right, set that over there. A little bit more in here we can get. But if you guys try this recipe out, make sure you leave a comment and let me know how they turned out. Let me know how your family liked them. I hope to do a lot more recipes soon. I know that a lot of you enjoy our cooking videos that we have together. All right, so we have got our oven already preheated and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put these into the oven. 400 degrees for 15 minutes or so, and we'll see you right back here. All right, the muffins are out, and we're gonna let these cool for just a few minutes so that the steam will help to ensure that they release from our pan, and then we will go ahead and get it out on cooling racks, and of course we'll have to give them a try while they're still warm. Yummy, look at that pretty little muffin. They turned out great. I'm gonna get these out of here, and then we will go ahead and taste test these. All right, so we are gonna give these a try in front of you guys so that you can see. So like I said, I didn't have any liners on mine, so they are just naked but super cute muffins. And of course, we've had these a whole bunch of times, but you can see the chocolate chips in there. Of course, they are so good, just plain. Um, you could add fruit. Like I said, we don't really care for fruit that much in ours, but so we're gonna go ahead and take a bite. Mm-hmm. Super good. Like I said, I think this was about half a cup of chocolate chips, and that's plenty for me. Like plenty.
This is my third one.
She's already stolen a few, and I made 2 batches. I just took my second batch out. So my second batch is going to go into the freezer. These will freeze without losing taste or texture for up to 3 months or so. So I've got some for the freezer for later, and these ones we are going to eat over the next today and tomorrow probably, and then they'll be gone. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy this recipe, and please let me know if you try it out and what you guys think, what your family thinks about it. And I hope to see you guys again real soon. Make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on upcoming videos. I hope to share lots more cooking videos with you guys, and especially showing you some more whole grain, freshly milled recipes. And I will see you guys again soon. So God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.